In the first of 3 videos, we're going to start looking at orthographic drawings. The first orthographic drawing we're going to create is for the wheel part. To start, go to the application button in the top left corner, go to open, and locate the orthographic drawing template. This is an A3 drawing template with an entry box for information. Onto this page we're going to create various different drawing views of the wheel part. To do this, we need to make sure that the wheel part in the tab below is the only part open during this process. First of all, from the ribbon, select Base View. What we're going to do is just scrolling down the list, we're going to find the most appropriate view, in this case the top view, to start our orthographic drawing. When we've selected the appropriate view, left click once and drag to the right once and click again. Drag above and click a third time, and into the top right corner click a fourth time. To create these 3 views, right click and choose Create. What we've now done is we've created a plan view, an end elevation, the base elevation, and an isometric drawing of this part. If we were to hold down on the base view, as you can see, other drawings are now linked to this base view. What this means is we can start to rearrange the page appropriately using the base view. Individual drawings as well can be located and moved separately. To start with, what we're going to do is we're going to increase the size of the isometric view and turn it into a shaded view. To do this, double click on the image, select from the bottom box here, Shaded, and in the scaling, choose a larger scale, 2:1 for example. Select OK. What we now have is a shaded view of a part twice as large on the page as it is in real life. What we're now going to do is commence adding in names to each of these drawings. First of all, double click on the base view, select the Toggle Label Visibility tab, and under View Identifier enter the name, in this case Elevation. Click on the pencil, and what you're going to do is remove the scale information. Select OK. What we've now achieved is we've now achieved a label without the 1:1 scale information included on the drawing. Double click on the end elevation and repeat the process, entering in the name, selecting the pencil, and removing the scale information. Again, for the plan view, double click, enter in the name, here plan, and again remove the scale information. Now when we double click on the isometric drawing, again repeat the process, and in this instance we may choose to include the scale to show that it is in fact a 2:1 scale. So select OK and OK. The label for the isometric view is off the page, so click on it and drag it below the drawing, and repeat this with the other labels. This creates a consistent view for your orthographic drawing. What we're now going to do is add in a sectional view. From the ribbon, select Section and select the base view. You can see now the cursor has changed to a crosshair. Click once with the left mouse button, drag below the drawing and click a second time. Now right click and choose Continue. What you'll see is now a sectional drawing with your cursor. Drag to the right, click once, and this has now placed a sectional view with the label AA. What we can do is return to our section line and move some of the annotation to spread this out more evenly. And as you can see, if we drag the section line, the section view will update accordingly. What we can now do is position it as close to the middle as possible. What we're now going to do is double click on the section view and again this time removing the scale, to simply leave the letters AA showing the section view. Having achieved these 4 views in the isometric view, we're now going to add in some extra information. This will form some annotation. On the tabs above, choose Annotate, and we have a range of different options that we can include. The first piece of annotation we're going to include is a center line. Click the center line button, scroll in gently to your end elevation, and using the green dots which snap to your tool, click once, drag below and click again, and drag below and click a third time. You've now created a center line down that part. Repeat the process in the other orientation. So click once, drag across, click again, and click a third time. We now have 2 center lines. If we press escape, we can now drag each of these center lines to increase their length. If we want to add in individual annotations, we can choose from the top the dimension tool. Click on the dimension tool from the ribbon, scroll in, and what we can do is we can add in either measurements between 2 positions or measurements of individual items. For example, we may choose to add the annotation here of this line between these 2 chamfers, which is 20 millimeters, or we may choose to add the entire width of the wheel by clicking the top line, dragging below, clicking the bottom line, and dragging to the left. Click one more time and click OK. And we've now added a dimension between 2 positions. We can repeat this and add in key dimensions. We can also click on any circle once, drag out, and add in an additional dimension. When preparing an orthographic drawing, it is always important to spread out your dimensions so the page does not become cluttered. What we can do at this stage is add in all the dimensions for a single part. On the ribbon, choose the button Retrieve, and what we're going to do is select the base view. Select the parts and select the part we're going to be using. This will then reveal all the dimensions available for this part. Select them all by dragging a box over them, and then go to the pop-up box and click OK. What we've now done is we've now added in all the remaining dimensions that are associated with this part, and it is now worth spreading these out. If there are duplicate dimensions, we can click on individual ones and hit delete. One thing that's useful with orthographic drawings is that we can edit dimensions within the drawing and the file or the part will update automatically. For example, the outside here is 70 millimeters. If we click on the dimension, right click and choose Edit Model Dimension, we can enter an increased value, so for example 90 millimeters, tick, and the part will automatically update to show the changed dimension. If we press Ctrl Z, we can undo that activity to keep the part as it is. The last view we might want to add in is the auxiliary view. Returning to the Place Views tab at the top, choose Auxiliary View and select the Plan View with a left mouse button. What we're now going to do is scroll in and find ourselves an angled edge which will allow us to project an auxiliary view from that part. In this instance, the chamfer on the edge of the wheel is perfect. Very carefully select the line, move out to the right hand side and click again to add the auxiliary view. One of the last actions we'll need to take is to move the label for the auxiliary view down onto the page and into the correct position. This was a brief introduction of how to create orthographic drawings for basic parts, which now include sectional views, auxiliary views, adding dimensions, modifying dimensions, and adding shaded isometric views. Let's move on to the next orthographic video so we can move on to some more challenging activities.